Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just some DC news. So one of the more anticipated events of the year went down a couple of days ago from when this video will go up. Sorry it's a bit late, I've just been busy, but you know, that's just what happens, I guess. And that was, of course, CinemaCon, though it is still happening, I think, now, or maybe today was the last day, I'm not too sure. But the main thing, or maybe king, but the main thing we care about here is the DC side of things and what was and was not featured. Now, early on into the week, you could see some issues with people when they were anticipating Lanterns and Peacemaker stuff at CinemaCon, when CinemaCon is about, well, the cinema and things that are going to be going to the cinema. But DC still had Superman, of course, which is done filming and is on its way to theaters very, very soon in the middle of July, as well as Supergirl, which is past the halfway mark of filming. And then, of course, there's something like Clayface and even something like Sergeant Rock on the way as well, and soon to start filming. But what was the CinemaCon panel for DC like to deliver, and what other DC news has come out since? Well, or before it, just before it as well? Well, let's talk about it. But of course, throughout the video, let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts. You know what to do. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, drop a like. It takes 2 seconds. So the first thing is just the actual CinemaCon panel itself, which I guess for Warner Brothers as a whole, but let's just segment it off to the DC part specifically and give some impressions and I guess general discussions and other news that came up around it. Now, the main thing, never hype up CinemaCon again. I mean, it's a bit of a joke, but at the same time, it's a bit serious. But I think it's just one of those ones when it happens, you just let things happen. Don't hype it up too much, but maybe also don't underplay it at the same time. Because you got to remember, you have the big boy. You have your San Diego Comic-Con in, about 3.5 months roughly from now. That's when you should expect proper stuff. And really any sort of talk around DC at the CinemaCon panel was going to be about Superman. But CinemaCon, anything half cool or decent that is shown is just going to be for the people in attendance, at least at that moment in time. They're not going to release anything public really at the same time. It's Comic-Con preseason. It's a preseason game essentially for Comic-Con. It's like if you watch the NFL or NBA, do you really care too much about that preseason game? No, you might get to see a new player or something play like 5 minutes, but at the end of the day, you don't really take it too seriously. You're probably not, it's not at the top of the food chain if you want to put it. Now, the big thing is that a lot of people were disappointed by, and it was one of the things that people were really pushing is that there was going to be a new trailer shown at CinemaCon. And yes, some studios did show a new trailer or a teaser or some sort of like combination of the two or one of the two at their panels, which was then released publicly or kept within it. Now, Superman technically did show a trailer at the CinemaCon panel, but it was the same one they released really at the end of last year, but just with like certain shots extended. So it was an extended trailer, but still the same trailer at the same time, if that makes sense. But because of the lack of a trailer released, like a new trailer, Superman Day, April 18th, we should expect that trailer. It's been, going on 4 months since 4 months since that first trailer. They've got to release another one. They've got to release it by the end of April. So yeah, Superman Day, April 18th. But let's be honest, I think we all got a decent hint that Superman Day on April 18th was where they were going to do the trailer. Once they started, like that promotional arts and stuff came out, it looked like they were going to make Superman Day a pretty big day. And what else is going to be releasing anything on April 18th? Let's be honest, Superman will have its own day to itself, its own week to itself, potentially around that point, just like they did at the end of last year. And that's why the trailer did so well, because nothing else was being released trailer-wise or anything like that. Everyone was holding off until Comic-Con. Come early, April 18th, it'll be the exact same thing. Not much is really, like, the only competition they have is Fantastic Four. If anything, Fantastic Four release... Technically, it would make sense that they release a trailer, I guess, tomorrow in America from when this video goes up, because that'll be the 4th of April. But I don't think they'll do that because they only just released their trailer recently for that film. So I know we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, April 18th, that's when you should expect the trailer. The only other thing is that they gave an exclusive look at that dynamic duo film that's not coming out for like another couple of years or something. So it's sort of random they did that. But I guess that movie's going to take much longer to make compared to anything else. So people at CinemaCon got to see that. They said it was like interesting and cool, it's unique and stuff, but once again, it was just a first sort of teaser thing. I mean, the fact that, yeah, it didn't really blow up the internet, but then again, we didn't get to see it. So that's probably why. But let's get on to what they actually did show at CinemaCon that was new, and that was this new sneak peek footage that was shown. Now, this is going to be shown in front of Minecraft in this coming weekend. So Minecraft comes out in theaters. That's also a Warner Brothers film. So you'd expect they'd do something to maybe bring more people into Minecraft outside of like the Minecraft fandom that's going to watch, which is a big fandom. That movie's probably going to make a good amount of money. I'd assume so at the very least. But they're showing a roughly 5-minute like sneak peek before Minecraft. Now we got a description of what the footage is. It's pretty much just the crypto scene and that we got at the beginning of the first trailer, but extended in where that goes. Now we don't know necessarily where in the movie this is located. It's rumored that this is like one of the opening scenes of the movie, but we don't know. That's just people talking. But the description is that Superman drops to Earth bloodied near the Fortress of Solitude. He whistles for Krypto, who jumps on his wounded master, which is like what we saw in the trailer. He drags Superman into the fortress where they're greeted by robots who fix him up. Much of the same imagery from the December trailer played. Back in the fortress, the Man of Steel scolds Krypto for wrecking the joint while he was gone. The robots who were supposed to look after him could care less. And apparently Superman gets put in this like chair and he gets healed by yellow sun rays and stuff, which I think bounce off like magnifying or like mirrors and stuff to like, focus the sunlight, I guess, or the sun rays and stuff into Superman, which is pretty cool. It's very, Silver Age if you want to put it for Superman. So this, this sort of is what I expected. Once they started advertising that Superman Day was happening, I was like, okay, well, they're probably not going to release a trailer at CinemaCon. It doesn't feel like that's the right thing to do. But I think showing this, which doesn't spoil anything, but gets people excited and actually gives you a consistent run on what the feel of the movie is, because apparently the scene was much more comedic than what would like the trailer that came out in December gave off. That gave off like it's very like dramatic, like Superman's injured, and then maybe there's a bit of like breaking of the tension with Krypto, but apparently a lot of the scene is just very much comedic, which could make people more confident in the film, make people a bit more wary of the film. It's like, oh, is it going to be too funny or goofy or weird or something like that? For me, sounds decent. I didn't get to see it. I don't think I'm going to be going to see Minecraft, but then again, I don't even know if they would play this in Australian theaters, because Australian theaters are very weird in regards to what trailers play. It's very different than America, and I'm assuming it's the same in like the UK and parts of Asia and South America, wherever you are. So I don't know if this is just in American theaters, like, or United States theaters, that this is playing in front of Minecraft. But I know if you're in Australia or England, whenever you're going to go see Minecraft, you might be able to find out if it's playing in front of there. But James Gunn did talk about the inspiration for Superman and what sort of pushed him to decide to make this film, and this is what he said. Back in 2018, I was first offered Superman and I was like, oh my God, that seems so cool. It seems hard. And they said, we also wanted you to do the Suicide Squad. And I took the easy way. It was an R-rated movie about a bunch of ragtag heroes. But it stuck with me and was a constant thought experiment in my mind. How can you take a character like that, perceived as old-fashioned by many, so many permutations throughout the years, and how can you do it for a modern audience? And one day it suddenly hit me in a burst and I wanted to do a story that was utterly human, utterly fantastic. This is a movie that celebrates kindness and human love. I want people to have that magical feeling when they come out of the movie and they love the person they came with a little more than when they went in. The flying dog, the giant kaiju, pocket universes, old things that were in the Max Fleischer cartoons. It took a long time to get there. Now, this sounds fine. This sounds like that's like the pushing of like what version of Superman he wants to push into, whether it's just in general or specifically this day and age. And that's going to be the big thing, is that Superman's obviously lost a grip in regards to, I think, the mainstream in regards to, or he is this big superhero. Though everyone knows who Superman is there enough care for Superman like there is for like a Batman or a Spider-Man or even some other heroes that have popped up now, thanks to appearing in live action and everything like that. So it will be interesting to see if, like, when people go in, they get that feeling, because sometimes that doesn't happen. It can be there, very much there, and it might not be like slap you in the face, but it should be. If you understand the film, you should understand that that's a part of it. But people just sometimes don't get that because they're not going to the movie for that. They might be going just to see Superman fly and punch someone. They don't necessarily care about Superman, about Kal-El, about Clark Kent. So that's probably James Gunn's biggest challenge, is making people, dip their toe into that side of the story, into that side of the film, and then leave the theater understanding that a bit more. So it will be interesting to see if he can grip onto that and grasp onto that. But that's for us to wait and see, in the second week of July or whatever it is. And the final thing to talk about is some stuff with Lanterns. So we got two castings, one new and one new but not new at all, if that makes sense. We'll go to that first one, that confusing one first. That's Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner is now confirmed to be returning in HBO's Lanterns. This was reported months ago, like months and months ago. Once again, we don't know specifically like how long, everything like that. Apparently it's meant to be recurring, but it could easily just be for one episode now because things could have been tinkered and stuff. We haven't seen Superman, so we don't know like contextually like exactly how his Guy Gardner Green Lantern is going to be, but it will be interesting to see in the context of HBO's Lanterns, which is obviously going to be a bit different in regards to theming and tone and stuff like that, how Guy Gardner fits into that. But he might work out really well because he doesn't fit into it, if that makes sense, which sort of sums up the Guy Gardner character as a whole. But yeah, I mean, this isn't too surprising. I think it'd be more surprising if we got a, announcement like Kyle Rayner or something's going to be in this, or another Green Lantern, like another human Green Lantern, like Alan Scott. That would be very interesting, but I don't think anyone's too shocked about this news. And the final bit is that Chris Coy has joined Lanterns. He will play the new character of Waylon Sanders, who's an intelligent survivor or a nervous truck driver. Age and real name unknown. He's unbound by the laws of nature. Now, this is a guest role, so I would assume it's just one episode. Maybe it's two or something. But he sounds like he might be like some sort of like weird character with powers potentially. But that's a wait and see, of course. We'd assume there's going to be, they're going to have to have some things that show up that cause or make, whether it's John Stewart, whether it's Hal Jordan, whether it's both of them, use their powers in whatever way, shape, or form. So he sounds like he might be, and Waylon Sanders, like Waylon Smithers, that's sort of like, that's what I think when I saw that name. I was going down The Simpsons. But, is Mr. Burns his boss? I don't know. But we'll wait and see what happens with this character. He sounds like he's just going to be like an alien undercover, or someone with powers, or who gets powers or something from some sort of weird force. We'll wait and see, but yeah, it doesn't really excite me or deter me. Just sort of, okay, it's news, it's whatever. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and everything we went over in this video. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.